Good morning to everybody and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And this morning I come to you from a magical location. I come to you from the Botanical Gardens. The Botanical Gardens here in Sydney. And what we'll do is we'll go for a walk and we'll do a walk and talk, and I'll go all the way back down to the Opera House and show off the beauty of these lovely gardens. Where I am right now is I'm at a bamboo patch. It's called the Bamboo Forest, and as you can see there's heaps and heaps of bamboo here, and you feel to some extent that you're in Japan with these magnificent bamboos which just stretch upwards and provide beautiful cover. It's just lovely here. But as I'm walking through this bamboo little forest, I can't help but get disappointed. And you know why I'm being disappointed. You can just see it. You can just see it. I don't have to say very much. But I recall a couple of years ago, an uncle of mine and my cousin went to Japan, and they also took some photos and video of the bamboo forests surrounding Japan. And I think quite a few people would be alarmed in Japan to see what happens here in Australia. I've got no problem with people tattooing themselves, but one thing I do get offended with is when people put messages on public property which is in public space, and all of a sudden you've got these magnificent bamboo trees and you've got people who have come here and vandalised them with their messaging and basically polluting what would have been otherwise a beautiful and serene sort of environment. Anyway, what can you say? What can you do? It must be a cultural thing here in Australia that people seem to think that it's okay to put markings on trees and on public assets or things which are in public spaces. But who knows? But that's the message from this sort of area. So whilst we've seen this, I might as well take you on a journey. Many years ago I worked at a magnificent organisation called IBM. Back in the mid-80s I joined, back when IBM was in its heyday. It was an organisation that was revered and on all accounts was considered to be one of the best places in the world to be employed. And having worked there in the mid-80s right through to the early 90s, I spent 6 years there. I can actually say that from my perspective it was probably the best work environment that I ever enjoyed, as it allowed me to grow, develop, bend and stretch in ways that I haven't been able to achieve in other work environments. The good thing about IBM back in those days is they lived the corporate values, and they were very forward thinking and a very, very effective organisation. And they had promotion from within, so basically they grew people through their organisation. And one of the important values that they had back in those days, not sure what's happening these days, but one of their values was respect for the individual, which was a powerful value, which looking back was something which set them apart from many organisations. So as a value, respect for the individual meant that you honoured other cultures, other people's views, other people's opinions, and you respected it. You know, it's okay for people to have opinions. It's okay for people to have views and viewpoints. You don't shout them down, you don't belittle them, and you don't treat them badly because they've got a viewpoint which is different to yours. So getting back to that little bamboo forest over there, it just goes to show that not all people share the viewpoint of respecting nature, respecting the cultural heritage of this country, to make sure that you don't leave things worse than what you found them. Other things that I really enjoyed about IBM in the heyday was IBM had a clean desk policy which they enforced. So basically, the clean desk policy meant that at the end of every single day, you would tidy up your desk and you'd lock everything away, so that when you came back to your work environment in the morning, it was like you were walking into a pristine office and you were starting work for the very first time. So you were encouraged to be very efficient and effective with your filing, so that you could put it away and get it out the next day. And it was great. It was absolutely great coming into a work environment and it being clean, uncluttered, and basically fresh. Let me go down this side over here. It's beautiful here in the Botanical Gardens. For my Sydney friends, I encourage you to get in the car, come down here and just take a walk around the Botanical Gardens. You can park in the Opera House parking. You can prepay and pre-book. It's $12. So it's $12 and you can stay the whole day. And make the most of it. What else can I talk about in terms of IBM in the heyday? I've talked about the fact that they promoted from within. So there were people that you were working with that had basically only been in the one organisation their whole life. One of the absolute beauties, one of the great points of IBM was that there was job rotation. So you could expect to be in your job for between 12 months and 18 months. And after that, you moved on to another role. And it wasn't a role that was specifically within your skill set. What IBM encouraged people to do was to change jobs, change careers, change specialties. And there was a lot of training and retraining, which has stuck with me. I love learning new things. I love teaching things, because one of the things in your job was that in order to move out of your job in 18 months, you needed to maintain a job description and you needed to train the next person into that job. So you needed to know your job pretty well to be able to hand it over effectively and to ensure that the person who took over your job was able to do your job as well, if not better than you, so that you would have their respect. And you never know, you'd be working with that person or those persons maybe again in different roles. But alas, those days are now gone. IBM has changed, most organisations have changed, and these days the concept of career is all but over. Very few people start a job in an organisation and grow in that organisation. So much so that over the years you can expect to be made redundant, or your job to be made redundant 4 or 5 times, and that you'll be working in different organisations if you're lucky. But the harsh reality is that once you hit 40, or dare I say 50, chances of retraining and finding another job with similar sort of salary that you could do well are pretty rare these days. So now with COVID-19, sadly, a lot of 50-plus-year-old people will be shafted by their employers and may never work again in a professional sort of sphere, and that's just the reality. Anyway, let's finish on a positive note, and I'm thankful that I've worked in those sorts of an organisation like IBM over the years, because I had many great experiences, met many great people, and the skills that I learned in IBM, the leadership skills, the learning skills, and all of those other wonderful skills I carry on regardless of where I work. The importance of being professional and being able to do the best possible job every single time is key. So let's finish off. Thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. I look forward to delivering you another one tomorrow morning at 5am at a different location and with a different message. But the objective of these discussions and talks are to empower you, me, and whoever wishes to listen. And I look forward to your feedback. If you like what you hear, give me a thumbs up, give me some feedback to keep me going, because I do look forward to delivering 1,000 of these over the next 3 years, and at the rate I'm going now it'll be earlier, God willing, but let's keep on going and having fun. Take care to everybody, wishing you well, and we'll chat again. Take care and thank you. Yasa sa agapao, and I appreciate your continued custom. Yasas, take care. Bye-bye.